Family farming has been the traditional backbone of Australian agriculture. With so many mum and dad teams working on the land, how hard is it for them to successfully combine business and pleasure? Business coaches Louise Woodbury and William Diora have given advice to thousands of small businesses across Australia and internationally, and they're married. They've written about entrepreneurship, but now it's getting personal. And they've put together first-hand advice on how to work with your spouse without getting divorced. I spoke to them recently while they were on the mentoring circuit at Queensland's Sunshine Coast. Louise Woodbury and William Diora, welcome to Landline.
Thanks, Anne.
Thank you.
People talk about the 7-year itch in a marriage, but you say for those that are working together, you've compressed that down.
Yes, we kind of did that in about 3 years, and the reason being is that, you know, when you're together 24/7 and learning to be married is difficult enough. But then being entrepreneurs, and we're strong personalities, so, you know, I think there's not too much we haven't done other than had children in the mix.
Now, of course, with all your advice, you're talking from experience here. You both came quite close to a divorce. Couples seem to compete against each other is one of the themes that you've brought out. And in particular, that, William, you hate being challenged. How did you...
The thing is that, you know, when you are the business owner, because I started my own business and it was growing very fast. And basically, I didn't want to admit that I couldn't do the business. And I was screaming for help. And Louise came into the business because of that reason. But the thing is that she was better managed than I am. And when Louise started taking over the business, that was very confronting to me. I mean, it was bad for my ego for a start. And then to see my wife taking over and telling me what to do, that was a scary thing. So we tend to compete with each other at that point. And I didn't even know that I was doing that. So how I competed was that I would put Louise down in front of the people, the team or the customers and so on to get her into a kind of a pigeonhole that I can control. And that competing was the demise of the partnership, really. I mean, we were close to getting divorced within 3 years. I mean, we were actually sleeping in separate beds, not talking to each other. It was literally ugly.
So what happened? You're 3 years into the marriage. Things are looking ugly, as you say. What did you do to turn it all around?
For me, divorce wasn't an option. I come from a divorced family, so does William. In making the decision that I was going to be married, it was like, well, I'm not giving up this easily. So I needed to really look at what was going on. So if we're competing, why are we competing? I needed to also get out of my own confusion from the point of view that, you know, I was doing what was right for the business and the marriage. But it was about communicating that to William as opposed to, you know, him being the silverback male gorilla feeling threatened. Because, you know, it wasn't about threatening his status quo. In actual fact, it was allowing him to be even more successful. So the rules of business, which fundamentally is around one leader, you know, one manager. So none of it actually fitted when you work with your spouse. So we needed to redefine what the rules of being in business with your spouse is about.
What happens with everyone's roles then, though, and the expectations? Women
are the anchors. And so when women actually do declare that they're not going to give up, then miracles actually happen. And I think in rural businesses, the strength of the woman is underestimated at times from the point of view of how they can actually hold it together and navigate through those challenging times.
What about the demarcation lines when you come out from being out in the field all day? Where do you set those boundaries? When are you allowed to talk about business? When are you not? What are your rules?
It would be nothing for William to get into bed, at 10 o'clock at night and ask me, of course, the one thing that I hadn't done. So that had me, lie awake all night. I'm a perfectionist, so it was like I would feel guilty. Really just wanted to go down to the kitchen and get the steak knives to kill him at that point. So our demarcation was we do not discuss the business in bed. However, what I now know is that what I value the most about being in business with my partner is I don't need to do the small talk at night called, "Oh, darling, how was your day?" Because he knows what my day has been about. We travel to the business together. There's a lot of togetherness in couples who run a business. And I think the quality of your communication goes to a whole new level, rather than the, yes, fine, no, didn't like that person today, or whatever it is. So it's just a totally different realm of communication that you have.
I just want to go back to one thing. You said that women are the anchor. So are men all the...
I'm biased, right?
Yeah. Oh, I have no problem with that myself. So if women are the anchor, are all the men the silverbacks?
They can be.
They can, and also it's like a boat, the anchor and the engine. So you can look at which part you want to play. And you're actually working together. It's like the yin and the yang. See, all my weaknesses, Louise's strengths, and vice versa.
And a lot of our farmers are also managers. They are managing other people, farm workers. I noticed one of your pieces of advice was never to fight in front of others.
That's right. We've experienced the damage of fighting in public can have. So what we experienced is that when William was challenging me, then the team would protect me. So then he was alienated from the team dynamic, which, had him even more concerned about that and threatened. But what I really know is that you cannot undermine each other, because you'll pay for it. It has consequences in your business.
Louise Woodbury, William Diora, thank you very much for sharing those insights with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.